Hi, I'm Freak Boy, and welcome to Freak Boy Runs. I'm just about to complete mile 10 of my 16-mile long run. It's just a really basic long run today, 16 miles easy. It's the last workout of my deload week. And then next week is something else entirely. But the deload week actually was very good and just exactly what I needed. I feel pretty rested up after taking basically an entire week of only easy running with only just one small tempo session, which was like 5 repeats of 4 minutes at tempo and 1 minute easy in between. So it was really a light week, both in intensity and volume. That's what deload weeks are all about. And then yesterday I went to my one of my 2 sports massage therapists. I saw Lee yesterday, and he is also a magician, as is Darcy, the other one. And between the 2 of them, I try and see one of them once a month. It's a little too expensive for me to do it many more often than that. But that massage was very much timely as well. So yeah, that deload week really was the right thing to do. As I said, this next week is something else entirely. It's actually going to be my most difficult week. I've got double run tomorrow, both easy, but still double run day. And then Tuesday, I've got a 15-kilometer threshold session. And Thursday, 15 kilometers tempo. And then my long run Sunday, a week from today, is going to be my longest, hardest one of the session for the entire session. It's going to be 35 kilometers, 22 miles. I think with, if I remember correctly, 20 kilometers of hot spots, maybe more, but I think 20. So it's going to be a challenge. The whole week's going to be a challenge. It's my toughest week. It's placed basically 6 weeks out from the Boston Marathon, and it's not exactly a taper from now on or from then on, but I am reducing in intensity and volume after that. The following week will be like a 21-mile long run and then a 20-mile long run. And I think I've got the 15K threshold and tempo sessions and the double run Mondays each week. So the big difference being the slightly shorter long runs. And then after those 3 weeks, the 22 mile, 21 mile, 20 mile, then my taper basically starts after that. So it's a tough little block coming up. I think the deload week rejuvenated me. I really hope so. We're gonna find out. I'll come back to you guys on Tuesday when I do the threshold session. Okay, well, here I am on my threshold session. just finished my 4th of 6 mile repeats at threshold heart rate. It's been tough, but I have been able to maintain my heart rate where I want it, and my pace is close to where I want. I'm not hitting them perfectly, but I'm close, and I'm happy with the way it's going. The deload week definitely made a difference. I feel a lot better now than I was feeling before. I got 3 more weeks of build block to go though, so I guess we'll see how it feels after a couple more weeks of this. Okay, I'm gonna try and catch my breath for the rest of this 2-minute rest. Okay, I'm done. Holy moly. That last one was tough. But I'm done. And I even managed to make the last one my fastest by 1 whole second, but still the fastest. And I hit the pace I wanted, and I hit the heart rate I wanted. In fact, my heart rate was a tad lower than I would have expected, but I don't think I could have pushed any harder. So it just is what it is. So I guess that's my birthday present to myself, is not giving up on my threshold session. I didn't really contemplate giving up this time around like I was a couple of weeks ago, but it did get very hard, especially the last 2 were hard. What else can I say? Yeah, I'm a little too out of breath to really capture my thoughts too well on camera right now. So maybe I'll go ahead and just finish the cool down run and then come back when I'm doing my walk. Okay, I feel a little bit better now. That really wiped me out. But yeah, so what I really didn't want to do was fail on my threshold session on my birthday. So that's why I said it was a birthday present to myself, to get it done. I shouldn't say my real, but my other birthday present to myself, I bought a few weeks ago, and I haven't tried them yet, but they are some Nike Alpha Fly Next Percent 3s. I think I'm going to use them in Boston, but I think I'll possibly use my old Nike Alpha Flies, depending on what the weather's going to look like. So I don't know if I'll end up taking both pairs with me, but I'm going to check the weather ahead of time. If it's looking like good conditions, then I'll probably use the Alpha Fly 3s and see how they can perform. But if it's looking like possibly lousy conditions, I may save them for my next big race. Just see how that goes. But yeah, as I said, the deload week definitely recharged my batteries. I didn't hit all my paces quite at where I wanted to, but I wasn't that far off. I was about 5 seconds slow on 2 or 3 of those intervals. It's funny how I only did 6 of them, but I can't quite remember. I think I had a couple 721s. That last one was the 720. I know I think I had 2 725s and a 724. So I think that was the 6th, but I may be remembering that wrong. So I'm not that far off, considering I just ran 16 miles 2 days ago. You know, I'm not going to beat myself up over not hitting the 720 pace. I did keep feeling like I need to just push a little harder so I can get my heart rate up just a bit higher, but I just couldn't quite push any harder than what I was going. I was a little bit, maybe it was psychological, I was a little bit concerned about my hamstrings. You know, that paranoia is building. It's been with me pretty much this whole training cycle, but it's going to build and build here as I get closer to the marathon. Just something I'm going to have to deal with. For some reason, it's worse this training cycle than it has been before. But yeah, so got really nice weather today. I couldn't pull the camera out until somewhat late because since we changed for daylight savings time, I lost some of my daylight in the mornings, which I'm not too happy about, but that'll correct itself here over the next weeks and months. When it was really dark when I started, and for like the first half of the session, it was too dark to even pull out the camera. I'll try to get a little more footage on the tempo run. Hopefully that one goes well too, and I'll pick you guys up on Thursday. Today it's tempo session. It's a pretty hard one. I think I haven't done it before, but it's going to be 13 by 1 kilometer, trying to stay in mid heart rate zone 3. So I'm going to probably try and run maybe around the 7 minutes and 25 minutes per mile pace. See how that works. I may go as fast as 7:20. We'll just see how it feels. I just had a gel that is going to last me for my first 5 repeats, and then I'll take another one after 10. Or sorry, I'll take another one after those 5 rather, and then another one after 10. And I've been, for this cycle and the previous training cycle, I've started fueling on all of my speed work, assuming it's, you know, longer than say a 30-minute session, just because I really feel like it's good to get the extra practice, but I feel like it's been helping me and making the sessions go better, giving me a little bit of extra energy. So I'm just going to enjoy the last third of a mile here of my warm-up, and then I'll pick you guys back up sometime through the session once I'm in the park. Wow, very difficult. I decided, since I ran my threshold session more at a tempo pace, I'm going to do this tempo session at a threshold pace. I've been doing it so far for the first 6 repeats. Here I go for number 7, but it's been hard. It's been warming up a lot this week, so I'm not used to running in these temperatures. But I'm hitting my heart rate and my pace for a threshold run so far for 6 out of 13 reps. Let's see how the last 7 go. Hoping for the best. Okay, if I'm gonna do it, I gotta put the camera down. See you in a sec. I have about 30 seconds left. My last repeat. Trying hard to finish strong. Trying hard to finish strong. Oh, wow. Very difficult. Okay. Okay. I don't know why I even bother to try and film when I'm going that hard. I can't talk at all. That was tough. I didn't account for 2 important factors. One, the heat. I couldn't get out this morning, so I'm running this session at lunchtime, and it's so much warmer. Oh, yeah, it's just so much warmer. The other thing I didn't account for was my shoes. So I'm wearing the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4s, and I've been wearing them for the last couple of tempo sessions since this was supposed to be a tempo. I'm used to wearing my old Alpha Flies or Vapor Flies, which I'm still wearing for threshold sessions. And when I decided right at the beginning, after the first repeat, that I was going to treat it as a threshold run, and my first pace and heart rate were about where I would have expected them to be for a threshold session. After my first rep, I was kind of low to mid zone 3 heart rate and ran, I think, 720 pace or 721. No, actually a little bit faster. That's right, my first rep was a bit too fast. I ran it, I don't know exactly the mile pace, but that kilometer was done in 4:28, which was a bit too fast. But because I'd run it so fast and my heart rate was still reasonably low, that's why I thought, okay, let's go ahead and do this as a threshold. That way we have effectively a tempo session from Tuesday and threshold session on Thursday instead of the other way around. Anyway, the whole point is I didn't think about the shoes, and they're heavier. They're more comfortable, and they've got better foam, especially since they're brand new, but they're definitely heavier, and that started really wearing on me. That and the temperature, plus there was a pretty strong headwind depending on what direction I was going around the loop, and that was hurting as well. So the moral of that story is you got to account for the shoes and the temperature. I still did okay though. My heart rate went into low zone 4 on pretty much every rep after, I think, after the first 6, maybe even before then. And high zone 3, low zone 4 is where I wanted to be for threshold. So my heart rate I had at the right place. My paces, you know, starting out a little bit too fast, not accounting for the temperature and how much warmer it was going to get as the session progressed, and not accounting for the shoes and to a lesser extent the wind. It caused me to have to go 20 to 30 seconds slower per kilometer from, I think, rep 7 through to 13. 13 was, it's kind of dark in here, hopefully the camera is still working okay in this light level. But what was I saying? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I think I was talking about the last rep. I think I did it in about 4:37. So almost 10 seconds slower than what those first few were being done at, but almost 15 to 20 seconds faster than a bunch of the other ones were between reps 7 through 11. I know I'm just throwing a lot of numbers out there. No, I'm not even sure if they're making sense because I'm still kind of wiped out. But hopefully you get what I mean. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it. I think I'm done. I need to get to my walk, which is still another 1/10 of a mile of jogging to go. Then I'll walk 2 miles and I'll be done. So I'll pick you guys back up on the next video. That'll be my 35 kilometer / 22 mile long run with hotspots on Sunday. The big one. Kind of looking forward to it, kind of scared. If you've been enjoying the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to leave me a message, comment, share if you have somebody else that you know that might like the content. Until next time on Freak Boy Runs, Freak Boy out.